Hey everybody, it's Vicky with Dementia with Grace. How are y'all today? I hope y'all are doing great. We are talking about the letter P today in the ABCs of Dementia FAQs. We are taking a little bit of time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and we're talking about the most common searches for dementia and ABC. Right? So I put everything in alphabetical order, and we're now doing these as according to the letter of the alphabet. So today is P, and it's on a word that a lot of people don't recognize, perseveration. Perseveration happens in the brains of people who have been assaulted by a type of dementia, one of the forms of dementia, a stroke, several things head injuries, a closed head injury, several things like that can affect the language centers of the brain, and they cause perseveration. And echolalia, that's another one that we'll talk about today because it's kind of it's all and we talked about obsessive behavior on Monday for O, and it kind of all goes in hand. So let's get into it. Perseveration. Perseveration is basically getting stuck on one thing and just cannot get off of it. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home, even if they are home. What time is dinner? 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 And then maybe you get them a snack because you think it may be because they're hungry, and that really doesn't help, but maybe you'll get a reprieve for a few minutes, 30 minutes, maybe get them redirected onto a show, and then it is, what time is dinner? What time is dinner? What time is dinner? And sometimes it's not exactly that. It is, what time is dinner? More conversation. Oh, and did I ask you, what time are we having dinner tonight? More conversation. I do really wish it was time for dinner. And it's just an idea that they perseverate on. I mean, it can be about, the number one is going home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. I believe that home is a feeling, not a place, and so that you try to meet those feelings of being known, being understood, being comfortable, safe, and secure, all of the things that home means to a person. They might be lacking something like that, but the perseveration part of it comes in when it's all they want to talk about. Or maybe they have seen, maybe you had a visitor on Sunday afternoon and it was your granddaughter and her new baby, so it's a great grandbaby, and they perseverate over that baby. Oh, that was a beautiful baby. That was a beautiful baby. Did you see that baby? That was a beautiful baby. And it's just that over and over and over. I consult in a facility where we have a lady who wants to sit down. I need 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 to sit down. And she's sitting down. If we get her up and walk her a little bit and then bring her back so that she has a new experience of sitting down, that will help sometimes, but then it's just, I need to sit down, I need to sit down. The other thing she does is, I'm just so cold, I'm just so cold, I am so cold, I am so cold, I am just so cold. Well, it's just like their brain gets stuck. For those of you who are old enough to know about a record player and a record, you know how your record would get stuck on a scratch and it would just play that same piece of music over and over and over again because it was in a scratch? It's kind of like, in my opinion, that's what the brain does. It kind of gets hung up on a phrase, an activity, a question, and it just can't move forward. And so what you would have to do is move the needle on the record, is what we would do in that situation. So in this way, I try to get them involved in some other piece of activity, something else. Talking, we use the gather. I'm the author of the Dementia with Grace, a new positive way of dealing with behaviors in people with dementia, and the G stands for gather, and so we gather all the information that we can on a person. If you want the link to that gather tool, go to www.dementiawithgrace.com. There's a way to get that, to print it off free, totally free, so go get that. I'll put the link down below. But if we know that person well enough and we know things that they like to talk about, once we meet the need of I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold, and we've got layers of clothes and socks and blankets and things on the person, and we know that, they're probably not cold, we probably have met that need, then we try to redirect the behavior so that they're not just constantly perseverating on it. Now, that said, the same thing that I talked about in the obsessive video, the obsessive behavior video, if it's not hurting anything, just let it happen. I mean, sometimes it's just best to accept what is happening and not be so hung up on what you think should be happening. It doesn't hurt anything for somebody to say, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold, I'm cold. If you are reasonably, if you believe that, it's 75 degrees in the house and they've got blankets and whatnot on them, they're probably not cold. It's probably just they've got it stuck in there. What time do we eat? 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 It's probably not about a hunger issue. Always, meet that need. Make sure that that's not an unmet need, but then let it go. I mean, that's the way. Echolalia, people, I have heard people do it, confuse these two terms. Echolalia is when you say something to a person and they parrot it back. Like you say, good morning, Mary, and they say, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. That is echolalia. So there's a difference. I mean, it's both a repetitive phrase, but perseveration can happen because of no stimulus. I mean, it can happen because they just started saying, I need a banana, I need a banana, I need a banana. Echolalia is a response to a stimulus. It's usually whatever you have last said to them, or maybe something they picked up on the radio or the TV, and they say, I don't know what it would be, good to the last drop, good to the last drop, good to the last drop, good to the last drop. If they saw that on a commercial, that is echolalia. So it's different. Okay. If you do not have a support group, please come join us over on Facebook. We have a free private support group on Facebook called Dementia with Grace, and Dementia with Grace Caregiver Support Group. Jump on in there and get loved up and some answers from people. I tell you, it's just the best group. And it's just a bunch of genius caregivers over there who, I call them geniuses because I think they come up with some of the best strategies. I have my own set of skills that I bring to the table as a professional caregiver and taking care of hundreds of people with dementia, but they are taking care of their person with dementia, and sometimes they find things that work in their home that I would have never seen or thought about because I'm not there. And so they share that good news and those good products and those good strategies, and it just means the world to people. It really does. I find that people get a lot of practical support and then a lot of emotional support over there too, where they can just come on and they can say maybe, my mother has been perseverating about the dentist appointment all day. All she wants to know is, when are we going to the dentist? When are we going to the dentist? I need to go to the dentist. When are we going to the dentist? And I can tell her we've got an appointment Thursday, but she just cannot move over, move off of it. And so we support then that feeling of frustration. I cannot hear about the dentist again, that kind of thing. You can come, to a group on Facebook who knows it and lives it. And not everybody that has dementia perseverates. Not everybody has echolalia. Not everybody has some of these behaviors that we all talk about. But you will find somebody that does, and somebody that's dealing with it and has dealt with it and can teach you how to deal with it. So if you want a copy of the book, it's available on Amazon. It's all about behavior management and meeting unmet needs and assessing across Pick'em. All of those strategies that I have come up with and that I teach in homes around, that I am, decided to write the book so that I could teach lay caregivers, family caregivers, how to meet those needs of people and try to have a smoother dementia journey. It will never be smooth. It's not a smooth journey. It's a hard journey, but we can make it better through strategies and through our own attitude adjustment and our own openness to deal with the person in their stage now, whatever that stage may be. All right. I don't know what we're talking about on Friday. Oh, fidget quilts. I do know what we're talking about. It's Q, and we're talking about fidget quilts. So I will see y'all again on Friday. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have a review. And yesterday, we did the review of the Lewy-Body Dementia website, a good website that I have found that I think is a good resource. And if I get finished with the book, we are going to review the book. I can't think of the name of it. So it'll be a book review on Thursday. Okay. The Theft of Memory. That's the book, The Theft of Memory. All right. I will talk to y'all soon. Leave me any questions down below. I'm very responsive. I'll be happy to have you over on the group too, okay? All right. Love y'all. Talk later. Bye. Mwah.